Thank you all so much for stopping by today. So, y'all, can you feel the excitement in my voice? Because we got all 8 raised beds filled for now. Still got to work on the herb garden. Still got to replace a few of the plants that's in the raised bed. But I want to take you through what all we've planted. I also want to share with you that I staggered the growth or I staggered the planting. Although I felt behind, I think that is the best thing that I could have done because as I was taking out that very next to last bed and I was looking at the tomatoes and some of them had dried on the plant because during the spring, although I didn't plant them all at the same time, I planted them very close in dates. And so I had to stay on top of harvesting, on top of, just picking the cucumbers, picking the tomatoes, picking the peppers so that they can continue to grow. And so I intentionally staggered the growth of these beds because I'm going to tell y'all this: when you start gardening, the abundance, it just continues to come. Like it's just so much. And in that process, you need to know what are you going to do with it. And what I mean by that, I'm like, okay, so are you going to cook it that day? Are you going to cook it the next 2 days? Do you need to freeze it? Are you going to can it? Are you going to make a sauce with it? Like, what are you going to do? So you have to keep that in mind. And so that was one thing, like on top of working, on top of doing all of the other things, I would have to say, okay, this date I'm going to be making tomato sauce, or this date I'm going to be doing, I need to harvest some herbs, and this date I need to do that so that I didn't get, first of all, overwhelmed and things didn't get behind. Now, let me be the first to tell you, there's some things that got behind. It's some things that didn't get harvested, but um, now this fall garden is exactly how it needs to be. So let me start with phase one of the garden, and then we'll just move around. And I also want to tell you some other things that I need to get done and planned. So let's go ahead and let's get started. Okay, y'all. So I just switched it that quick. Let's start with phase two of this garden because this is the part that I really planted first. As I started pulling different tomatoes, and we had cucumbers over here, we had bell peppers growing. So I can't remember like what's the very first bed I planted. I know it wasn't this one. We'll get back to this one. I want to say it was partially this one and partially that one that I'm going to take you over. Now we still have dahlias that are growing and some that I need to deadhead too, but that's not what we're talking about, y'all. We still have some that are, still got blooms on it. I really um told y'all, so y'all know I bought a lot of dahlia tubers. And some of them I started inside, some of them I was like, what am I going to do with them? And so I just started putting some in, the raised beds. I've been trying to tame them. This is what I'm going to do is I am going to, once they're done, after I deadhead or when we get our first like fall frost, I'm just going to cut them back. I want to see if they're going to come back. So we're not going to move these. And as you can see, y'all, the bee love these dahlias as well. So I also pulled, this is where we had a lot of our tomatoes at. So I just pulled these and I started adding the carrot tapes, which was a little bit older. This is what I wanted to tell people because the germination rate had went down. And that's okay because I knew these were older seeds, but I knew I also wanted to go ahead and try to get them planted. So I put some carrots here. I found these clearance marigolds. Now I'll show you in a minute the marigolds that I started from seed that was in our summer seed kit. But I found these on clearance. This is when they were really trying to get those mums in, and I think they were like selling these for a really good price. And then I also started some of the bunchen onions over here. And then these are more clearance marigolds, and then we had our foxley thyme already. Now within here, uh, I'm very upset about the onion seed tape that I've started twice, and I've really tried to keep my eye on it, and it just has not germinated. So we won't be trying that again. I'll just use the regular seeds, which is what I did. The only reason why I like the seed tape, y'all, is because I know with onion and carrot seeds, I can get a little heavy handed when it comes to putting them in the soil, and the seed tape kind of helps you have um, control over the spacing where you don't have to thin as much. Because y'all know one of my things, or two of my things, that I just do it but I don't have real fun doing it, is the thinning and the weeding. These I got heavy handed. I did, but they're gonna grow just like this. We're not even gonna worry about it. We're gonna have us some bunching onions. Later on, I ended up pulling a pepper plant, so I have to find something to put in this area. We started this kale from seed. The It's four little onion plants back there that we started from seed, and I actually started these pansies from seed as well because I think I lost either one or two somewhere in here. Now I'm going to tell y'all right here, right now, this is at this moment my favorite bed. Y'all, because of the color. Let me just step back before I tell you everything that's in here. This is like every time I look out of the kitchen window or the bedroom window, I'm like, this is so pretty. It's ready to start harvesting. So we have arugula here that we started from seed. This was the lime thyme that I picked up, and I was like, you never hear of lime thyme, so I just thought it was cool. But we got that. We got two different types of arugula in here. We got some Florida broadleaf mustard that we started from seed, some Swiss chard that we started from seed, some of if you got the fall kit, the fall seed kit, this is the gourmet lettuce that we started from seed. These are more clearance marigold. And y'all, I am going to put the link in the description. Get on the waiting list for the seed kit that we have started offering. We offer the seed kits, and I do a lot of research because, especially if you're new to gardening, I want you to have fun growing, but I look for things that have good germination, that are really easy to grow, and doesn't take a long time to grow, because sometimes you got plants that take a long time. Hello, Brussels sprouts. And so, sometimes it's like you want that instant gratification. And so that's why I really do lots of research. What will be good? So these lettuces are amazing. And I absolutely, these are like my favorite. But we started these from seed. And so we just got these and some snapdragons all along the line. We got some celery right here, some creeping rosemary. Now in the back, I went ahead and I put some collards back here because I had a couple things left over. So we got a couple collard and little kale plants that are growing. Now, make sure you hit the subscribe button, because once I get a couple of the in-ground beds planted, I really need to get on top of feeding it. And I want to share with you what I use, especially for my leafy greens, what I use to feed the plants. So again, hit the subscribe button. But y'all, look, I intentionally, when I started the seeds, I started these inside because I wanted to be in control of the color that I put in the garden. Now, here are the marigolds that we offer in the summer seed kit. And let me tell y'all, marigold is always going to have a place in the garden. I'm going to have marigold each and every summer season, spring and summer season, because it is an annual. Not only because they are beautiful, but they attract pollinators and they also help to repel insects. So this particular marigold right here, this was part of our summer seed kit. And so we just have those all around. Now we're in Georgia, zone 8A. And so we'll have marigolds up into our first fall frost, which is around, for here now, around mid November. Now, these seeds right here, we started the Cat Masuna right here. We got those from Baker Creek, so they're growing. the red kale. I have some broccoli rabe. Let's go around here. We got broccoli rabe that is in the back. And last season, I put them in the ground and I had a real bad pest issue with it. So this is why I'm choosing to put it in the raised bed, just to see if I can have better luck with it. Y'all know one thing I always do with my garden beds, no matter what, you're going to see vegetables, flowers, herbs all together, all growing together. Not because it's pretty, it is because it's pretty. That's not the only reason, but because they also are beneficial to each other. So we got some snapdragons that are going to be in the middle, and they're going to add that height. And then we started this tatsoi. Okay, let's walk around again. But before I walk around, so this is a type of collar that doesn't get big, and you harvest them at like a little bit bigger leaf than this, but they specifically said that these are not, you got some collars, y'all, that will get big and wide as far as height and width, but this was not one of them. So we're going to um, grow these right here. I feel like I can put something else right here. I really feel that way. And I may put like, I have some cilantro that I started from seed. So I may put that in there. We have some more thyme right here. But this is the tatsoi that we started from seed. And this is one of my favorites. And I'm going to tell y'all why. Because whether it's on a weeknight, I was just going to say a weeknight meal, but whether on a weeknight or a weekday, you're looking for something quick. Saute you some tatsoi, mushrooms, onions, a little bit of garlic, put your seasonings in there, and you really got like a good side. And so that's why I love to grow tatsoi. And I just had one little lonely Swiss chard that was left, so I stuck that right there. Now, I've shared with you the reason why I have these supports up here, and I'll show you an example right now, is because it's a tricky time in the fall. If you plant a lot of plants too early and it's still hot, then they'll bolt and they'll go to seed. And so this is what happened to a couple of the butter lettuces that we started. So you see how these look? These look beautiful, but this one is actually trying to bolt and is trying to go to seed because we had temperatures in the mid 70s, which was good. But for about a week, maybe a week and a half, it got back up to like 85, 89. And so it signaled to the plant, hey, let's bolt and go to seed. But I have started some more inside because I want to do succession planting. Okay, so what that means is I'll plant, and then once I start harvesting these, I'll have some more to go in its place. So that is what it looks like when it's trying to bolt and go to seed. So this bed right here is a combination of some plants that I picked up at the growers outlet and also the county farms. So we have some red mustards right here. And let me tell y'all, I am actually going to like start harvesting them. I harvest them at this stage and put them in my salads because this mustard right here has a little spicy bite to it. I don't let this one get to like the full maturity because this is a Savannah mustard right here, and I let these get bigger and I cook these like collards, like turnips, like kale. But this one right here, I don't cook those like that. I specifically add these in salads and I'll just like chop them up a little bit. And so we have some Swiss chard. This is the Savannah mustard. And I see right now I'm going to have to do a little treatment again. I don't know why they keep picking at this particular plant and that one, but we're going to do a little treatment. It's okay. I always say that the pests, when they try to get started, they know the good stuff. So that is, we'll get that. Let me tell y'all, this is the red dragon arugula. So I had started these from seed and left the cell tray out here, and that was a day that it just rained and just got soaked. And I thought that they were gone, but I said, you know what? I'm gonna try to plant them right here. I'm gonna put them right here, and they seem to be taken. This one a little bit is taking its time, but I know it's gonna come back, just like that one little Swiss chard that was trying its best. I know it's gonna come back. And then we have our lavender that we had at the beginning of the season. And I popped two of these are called, oh, they're a little small type of snapdragon that doesn't get um, really tall. So it'll just be in front of this lavender right here. Now, probably mid-winter, late winter, we're going to cut this back. We'll cut the lavender back. This is one of like a Spanish variety lavender. I don't use this particular lavender in my teas. I'll just use this like as because it's pretty and the blooms of it, the lavender buds on here are really nice. So that's why we use this one. And so this is phase one, y'all, of the garden. This is what we first planted up. Now let me start on phase one. No, this is phase two that I just showed you. Let me show you phase one. So we're going to come to these two last. And you can see that I pretty much just got finished, y'all. I got to pick up some things. But these last two was the ones that I really was the slowest about. And this was part of our garden chores. So if you are not following us, again, hit the subscribe button. But every Sunday, when it's not raining, we do come on and we go through our garden chores for the week. It really holds me accountable and it also gives me what needs to be accomplished. And I feel like, just like if you write something down, that way I can stay on task because I've told y'all in the past, some days I can just get off task and come out here and walk by something and just get totally distracted by whatever I'm doing. And so what I originally came out here to do, it never gets done. But let's talk about this bed right here because these two beds that I'm going to show you now, this is what we planted up next. Okay. So let me just be the first to report. I've shared with you before about this straw mulch. This is why I have a love-hate relationship with it. It doesn't look like it a lot because every day when I come out here over here, I will take these, I'll just come and I'll just pull them up. So sometimes I can get a batch that does not have like the straw seeds in here and will not pop up. And then other times I do. And this particular batch that I have now, it has popped up with these little straw seeds right here. And I personally, I do not like the way that it looks. Now I started these pansies from seed and I specifically did not put any straw mulch on there because they were tiny, tiny, tiny. I wanted them to get just a little bit bigger. I'm going to let them get just a little bit more bigger. Then I'm going to come put the straw mulch down. Now I will tell you I've lost one, two of them. And that's why, and I hope I'm not going to lose that one right there. But this is why I tell people why I plant more. I didn't plan on putting, I just had some pansies that I started and then it was like, okay, just put them right here. But this is why I plant more because I'm like, now say for instance that you're really planning, like you say, I want 10 pansies right here or six pansies right here. Well, if you only start six and you lose a few, then it's like, okay, what are you going to do next? So that's why I always plant a little bit more. Here we have another type of collards that we've planted right here. And what I plan on doing in this area, y'all, is totally leafing off. And basically what that means is I will start harvesting the outer leaves when they get big enough and then let the center and the rest of the plant grow. So on a Sunday or whenever I feel like cooking some collard greens, I will come and leaf off of the different varieties that we have. And then we'll just go ahead and let this continue to grow over the fall and the winter. So basically, um, I'm not going to harvest like the whole plant. I'm just going to do what's called leafing off. Now the speed well right here, we cut these back hard. They're coming back. But what I did was I stuck a few snapdragons like in the middle because I know that the speed wells are going to slow down a little bit in the fall and the winter. So we'll still have that color in the middle. If you notice, a lot of our raised beds, they have the snapdragons in the middle. These are the ones that's going to get between 2 to 3 feet tall. So to give it that interest in there. This is like I want to say a 40 something day cabbage right here. They don't get very big, maybe like 3 pounds. And so that's why I planted like a row of them. And we still have our winter savory, and this is the bonbon calendula. And again, what I'm going to have to do is come in and do like another dusting of the diatomaceous earth. I'm also going to put a little bit more sluggo on here, because when the plants are small like this, a lot of times the pests will attack them until they get a little bit bigger. Then they'll kind of leave them alone. But I want to just make sure that they don't continue to come in and attack certain plants. Okay, so this bed right here, we have some oregano, we have some sage, and y'all, what we're gonna do, um, we've been harvesting and drying. We're gonna start offering some of our herbs from the garden directly to you. Whenever we harvest them, and I have way more than I know I'll need, we're gonna put them online. So look at the link in the description, and I'll also put it on the screen, and make sure you check from time to time, because we're just going to have different things. Like right now, I think I've dried some thyme, some oregano, and oh yeah, oh, some sage, some sage. I'm looking right at it. But then I'm also going to dry some hot and spicy oregano that we have, and just be able to offer it to you all, because I always ask people, like, do we really know how long the uh, herbs and spices on the shelves, how long have they been sitting on the grocery store shelves? Like, these are fresh. So what I've been doing is this year's harvest. We've harvested, we've dried it, and so now we're going to offer it to you. But in this bed right here, we just have a little bit of some of everything that was left over. Because remember, y'all, I started a lot of these from seeds. So we have some Brussels sprouts, which I just looked from the side. This is supposed to be one plant. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to pull this one right. I'm going to pull this one. Oh, okay. I pull that one up. We got Brussels sprouts in here. We got collards. We have cabbage, red cabbage in the front. We have our bonbon calendula. I'm not sure what's going on with these snapdragons. I have been telling them, if y'all don't get yourself together, you will be replaced. This one, the one that's being hidden, is doing better than this one. I don't know what this one problem is, but it got about 3 more days before it gets pulled. And I think this was like the red one. I don't even know what color it is, but it's gonna get replaced if it don't get itself together. This is the red cabbage right here. And then down on the end, the reason why I said it was just kind of like a what's left over type deal is because I had some radicchio, I had some kohlrabi, and I had some spinach mustard. So I'm like, you know what? We're gonna put this right here, and we are gonna let it grow. And then we have some salvia in the middle, along with a row of snapdragons. So I can't wait to see like all of this grow together, y'all, and just start growing, and just all of the different colors that you see, even in the fall and the winter time. You still can have color in those months. And so I'm excited to just look outside and just be able to still see the beauty in the fall and the winter, as well as harvest a whole bunch of leafy green vegetables. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about this bed first. This was the last bed, and I was like, finally. Now, I haven't got done with like everything that I need to do, and the reason why I say that is because remember, we had our bunching onions right here. And so what happened was, we had a lot of the bulbels that you have. I planted some, but I've just been taking these, separating them, planting them, making separate plants. We've moved the actual bunching onions over here in the ground by the lemongrass. So we have that there. I just needed to put them somewhere. Will I move them again? Because to be honest, when I pulled them up from the raised beds, I can separate them out and make new plants. But I'm like, I need more space. So I'm just going to say, y'all, this is just a holding space. The bunching onions may move again. I did move the strawberries. We did a short on that. But they may move again if I get more space, not to a raised bed, but in the ground. Okay, so this front portion right here, I had already planted the celery, but I had two Swiss chard left. I had two spinach mustard, so we put that there along with some snapdragons. But what I did plant, and I'm watching this little buddy over here who better get himself together, is the beets. So we planted some red and some yellow beets here. Um, I don't know. Yeah, I tried to do red, yellow, but for some odd reason, I'm like, why did I leave a big space right here? I don't know. Maybe because I had the snapdragons right here. Who knows? So we ended up topping this raised bed off, adding some snapdragons, just kind of trimming up the thyme a little bit. Over here, we got lemon thyme. We still have some more winter savory right here, and then we have some more thyme. So we went ahead, cut back these speed wells as well, the salvia, Veronica Speedwell. That's what they call. So if I've been using the wrong name, y'all, they're Veronica Speedwells. This was the plant. They're perennials, and we've had these like when I first moved here. These were on clearance, and so I just racked up. We have some in the front of the fence. We have some right here, but I do love them. And what I can tell you is the pollinators really, really love them. Okay, and the very last bed, you might can't see it. We got some collards that we started from seed, the calendula. I got some more. This is the viola. I think this is the King Henry viola that we started from seed. More tatsoi in the front. This snapdragon right here, and some mustards, red mustard in the back. I got some kale in the back, and then some red kale right here. I did lose one plant, I think, over there. I have like 5 cilantro plants, and cilantro for us is a great plant to grow in the cool weather. So I may pop those there as well. But what I can tell y'all is we got all of the raised beds planted. And we actually got some in-ground beds planted as well. But let me tell you what's next up, because remember, we're going to leaf off of these. And so this is pretty much going to be like this throughout the fall and the winter, with the exception of the bed with the dahlias where I got to add a few more things. Now the beets, we will probably we're going to we don't leaf off of those. I just pull those beets up and we will use those. So I'll have other plants to replace when the beets are ready to be harvested. So again, make sure that if you're not subscribed, to hit the subscribe button, and just know that every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if the weather permits, we go live and we talk about some of the things that we need to be doing. But I'll give y'all a sneak preview now. These in-ground beds are going to be next. And what I will tell you about this vinca, I'm going to show y'all close up. I suspect next summer we're going to get a whole bunch of vincas to pop up. Here's an example. Because right now they are starting to go to seed, and the seed pods are dropping all over the ground. So this is what the seed pods look like right here. This is what they look like. See how those are already starting to drop on the ground? So this is, although they're annual, this is what we mean when somebody says they self-seed. This is what they're talking about. So they make the seed pod, and I'm not on top of it. I'm not going to harvest them. And so they drop to the ground and they make new vinca plants. Like all of these are vinca plants. All of these right here are vinca plants. So I know that next year, um, although those have popped up because it's still warm, but they'll just sit on the ground. And when it's time again, I already know I'm going to get new vinca seedlings. So what my intention is, because let me tell you, if you stay in the South and it's hot, it's humid, vinca is your friend, okay? That is your friend. Grow you some vincas. They got all different colors, all different heights. And so what I plan on doing is I will wait till it gets big enough for me to transplant it to where I want it to be. It may be here again, or it may not, because when I pull this up, I think I'm going to plant like a whole bunch of pansies right here. I'm still monitoring these. These are perennials. This is the salvia. I had another salvia with this type of leaf that I was like, okay, it got to get itself together, because one thing I notice is when it's like damp in the morning, like some of the leaves they turn this black color and it's almost like they die off. I do like the blooms of it. The leaves, we'll see. So I'm saying that to say I don't know if I'll keep these or not. I'm gonna give them a little chance, but I know that I'm gonna pull these up. And then right over here, we do have a daylily, and then I gotta work on this bed over here. But that's just some things that's upcoming. But the main thing, y'all, the main thing I wanted to get accomplished was the fact that we got phase one, phase two raised beds growing. Still got to pop a couple things in here. I still got plants that I have got to really plant up. But for the most part, we have been just getting everything planted and transferred out, like the summer vegetables. See, I got a whole area right here. I got to plant some more plants. We've been planting some things right here. And I've just been, to be honest, y'all, battling the slugs. I know that's who it is. So I'm just gonna do some more diatomaceous earth. They gonna make it. They look a little raggedy now, but I know that they're gonna make it. Like they're trying their best. Like plants are resilient. They are going to make it. I just have to stay on top of it and just really watch the pests. Okay, y'all. So make sure you put in the comments if you're growing something for the fall and the winter months. Let us know, what are you growing? I really want to know. I love the fall and the winter months because the pest pressure really does lower a whole lot. And then not only that, y'all, I love leafy greens. I try to eat something green every single day. Oh, the only thing I got to plant now is spinach. So I'm glad that I made this video, because spinach is another cool weather vegetable that I have in my garden each year. Okay, so as always, thank you all so much for watching this video. Make sure you share this video with your family and your friends. And if you're not a subscriber, go ahead, tap the subscribe button. Make sure you tap the bell so that you can receive notification each and every time we upload a new video. Again, thank you all so much for watching. And until the next video, bye-bye.